With the Center for the Divine Will. I just want to give you a little short presentation to bring you up to date on our new book that's at the printers at the moment, and also about the conference that's coming up in September. For some people may want to view this presentation and they haven't known about the conference. The new book is called Suddenly and Unexpectedly Nonfiction, The End of Our Times. Now this is the book, but we're going to show you in a presentation closer up of it so you'll be able to see it more clearly. This is the front cover and this is the back cover. In this book, the purpose of this book, and this is something that happened to me last September when I began to cry and weep over the state of the world and what's about to happen, and nobody seemed to be ready for it. And I had two other episodes in which I cried over what's happening in the world. And I was motivated to put this book together so people would know the major things that we are certain of, that are definitely going to happen, because the Queen of Prophets has come from heaven to earth to tell us what is about to happen. It is very, very serious. So that's the purpose of this little presentation, is to let you know more about our book if you haven't already learned about it. And very soon we expect to have the book in print. So we'll let you know through emails and by this website when that book is ready. Now I'd like to read to you just a few of the chapter titles of the book. There are now 11 chapters, and the total number of pages is about 182 pages. First, we start off with preparatory remarks, in which prepare people to what is going to be happening when they read the book, in other words, what they're going to read about. The first chapter is called The Nights of the Screams, and the second chapter is titled The Awesome. The third chapter is necessary before we go into the rest of the book, to prepare people, particularly those who have not studied a lot of theology and stuff, and also for people who are maybe non-Catholic, who will be able to learn about this book and maybe want to read it. It's called Prophecy in the Christian Era, so we can understand how God prophesies to us before terrible things happen because of His great mercy and the means by which He does so. Then we get into these very, very, very serious stuff. The first chapter was very serious also. The fourth chapter is called The Awful Things that are about to happen. Then the fifth chapter is still awful, but in a way it's very merciful. It's called The Great Warning from God to the Human Race. And then the sixth chapter, following that humiliation where we get ourselves back into our proper relationship with God, then He's going to give us extraordinary great grace called the great miracle that's going to take place in the springtime of a future year, most likely in the month of April. And this miracle will include something that has never, ever, ever happened in human history, that God will let those who are present at that miracle see the glory of God and still remain alive, with a special grace that will keep our souls within our bodies, because the Scripture says that no one can see God and live, because their soul, it seems to me, would be going right back to where it came from God. So God's going to give us a grace that we will continue to live through this wonderful, incredible experience. And that's only part of what we're going to see in that miracle. And then we'll have, everything will be wonderful after that. There'll be the conversion of Russia and many nations, and all will come to love the hearts of Jesus and Mary. And there will be a period of peace that Our Lady had promised at Fatima. And we think it won't be a very long peace, about one generation. And then, according to all the discernments that we have, both from Scripture and from the prophecies that are made in our times, legitimate ones that are valid, ones that we can count on, that there won't be a long period of peace after the miracle. And at the end, people are going to start moving back away from God like they are now. When that happens, we're going into a second very terrible situation in the world, which will end with a chastisement of fire from heaven. So that was the name of the 7th chapter, the great chastisement. And then the 8th chapter is the foretellings. In other words, how we know what is about to happen and the sequence of when they're going to happen. We don't know the dates and the hours, but we know now we're very close to all of it to begin. And then I have a chapter of how Fatima and Garabandal are really and truly the same story, but they're divided to 44 years apart. There's 2 parts of the same story, 44 years apart. And in chapter 10 is titled The Renewal of the Face of the Earth and the Happy and Holy Times to Come, when the Father's kingdom comes and reigns in our souls as in heaven, which Jesus prayed for in the Lord's Prayer, that the kingdom of the Father would come. And then the last chapter, chapter 11, the 3 eras of the world and the 3 renovations of water, blood, and fire. Every 2,000-year period, God renews the world. In the first 2,000, he renewed it with the flood of Noah's time. In the second 2,000 years, he renewed it with his own precious blood. And then now in our we're into the third 2,000 years. We're just beginning the 7th millennium of human history now, but we're in the final preparations before the day of rest. And I'll explain that. Well, that's explained in the book. So we're now in a period in which there's going to be a 3rd renewal. We're already in it. We're already in the 3rd renewal, but the major parts of it still haven't quite happened yet. And so my book will tell you all about this. So this is a little advertisement for my book, which will be in print very soon, Suddenly and Unexpectedly, Nonfiction, The End of Our Times. And while I'm thinking about it, it would be nice if God would dispose the souls of many pastors and bishops to have a copy of this book so they can understand what God is doing now, and the people are going to be begging for help from the priests. They're going to be begging for explanations in the future, in the time's not far away. So we hope maybe that might work out, that some of the bishops and priests want to read this book and be ready to be able to counsel their flock. The other part of my little presentation this morning is to remind people that I've already written to, but also to tell new people who may not have heard about it yet. We're having a conference on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of September, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and half day on Sunday. It's going to be a conference on the reign of the divine will in souls and fulfillment of the Lord's Prayer, Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. All of that is something that God is manifestly making clear now, that souls can even at this moment begin to take part in this. It'll be general in the future after all the purifications are over, but right now it's only limited to a certain number of people, and we'd like people to know about it. And we're going to talk about some very beautiful and incredible things. And then integrated in this conference, we'll be talking about these end times that we're in and what we should know about and what we should do to inform others who are not in the state of grace, or their lives indicate they're not in the state of grace, so that they will have an opportunity to choose for God and come back into the state of grace so they can endure these terrible things that are about to happen and not be lost temporarily, or even be lost permanently and eternally and forever. So that's the purpose of my little presentation. God bless you.